Oh, come on. Come on, look at that. That is a feast for anyone. Irish stew soda bread. Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. I'm Rick. Today we're going to do something really comforting, and for all you people that are in the cold countries, this is superb. We're going to make Irish stew. Now, Irish stew with lamb, not Irish stew with beef. Everybody that makes Irish stew with beef are making an English stew. English stew with beef, Irish stew with lamb. Simple as that. There's a divide in the middle, lamb this side, beef that side. Simple. So we're making an Irish stew with lamb, but you know, to go with this Irish stew, and we're going to make this in the slow cooker actually, it's going in the crock pot. But to go with this, to accompany this, we're making Irish soda bread. So it's a full Irish today. Right, what we need to do is cube this lamb. I've got this fantastic piece of lamb, and it's a lamb shoulder. So we're just going to cube it up, big cubes. Nothing small on this. It's going to slow cook. So we want some decent cubes. Now, again, you just cube it up any which way you want. Just get some big cubes of meat in there. Leave the fat on. The fat will render down and give that flavour inside that stew. Awesome. So in any which way you can, let's have it cubed up. Now what we are going to do is put this in a pan and pan fry, and try and put a bit of colour on this before it goes in the slow cooker. So that was easy. There's our lamb. Now I'm going to put pepper on this. I'm not using salt. You can use salt if you so wish, that's up to you. I don't want any salt on this meat. And the reason why I'm not using salt is because you will ask. I'm not using salt because it's in the gravy powder, and I do not want a stew which is over salty. But we do need some seasoning on this meat now before we fry it. It's the only time we're going to get any seasoning on this meat. Right, we're just going to bob that to one side and do some veg. Okay, trying to stick with a little bit traditional with the Irish. I've got a whole bunch of leeks here. They're fantastic. We'll trim those and slice them up. We got some potatoes and we got some carrots. Nothing else. You can add anything you want. Put Swede in, anything like that. That's up to you. All we need to do is cube up these potatoes, big cubes. And they have to be big cubes. They're going in a slow cooker. That's our potatoes. Carrots the same, top and tail. These have already been washed, as you can see. They're wet through. There's some big carrots on there. Oh, we're throwing them away. Carrots, potatoes, leeks. The leeks have been washed, so we're just going to peel those down there. Take off some of those leaves. Now you can keep as much green as you so wish, that's up to you. Okay, leeks, same. We don't want very small, thin little slices, you know. It's all going to be cooking in the slow cooker. We don't need it thin and small. We want some chunks of leek. It's all going to disintegrate in there anyway. In a bowl. Get your leeks in your bowl. Okay, this is a very straightforward quick cook. Now this is olive oil. You can use any oil, to be quite honest. Okay, our lamb, there's our oil in there heating up. As soon as it's warmed through, that lamb goes in there. Now we're not worried about anything. We're not trying to cook this. We're trying to get a brown sear on and some flavouring with that pepper we put on there. So in with our lamb. And there's a whole bunch of it there. You know, if it all doesn't get colour on, so be it. It's going in the slow cooker. Now don't worry about leaving it a minute in there, you know, we do want that brown seal on. So just leave it alone, give it a minute or 2 minutes and then turn it over. But of course it's going to get some crusty brown gnarly bits on there. That's what we're after. Over we go. Oh, we're getting some beautiful colour on there. That is what we want. Okay, flame off, that's enough. One side. Let's set up our cooker. Slow cooker in there. All our meat, all our juices, everything. In with our carrots. In with our leeks. Now I am going in with potatoes. There's loads of schools of thought about putting potatoes in. Some people want to put the potatoes in towards the end. But you know, these are all going to cook in there, so it doesn't matter. Right, we're just going to give that a quick little mix. Not much. That'll be fine. In there with a pinch of dried thyme. A good teaspoon actually. If you've got dried rosemary, chuck it in. If you've got fresh, put it in. Dark ale or stout in. Now this is beef broth made up with beef powder in. Little stir. Don't worry about too much fluid. We can always add some. There's going to be enough fluid in there when that veg starts to cook. All this about chucking fluid over the top, that's okay if you want a big watery gravy. There's enough in there. Let's get the lid on. Let's get it cooking. Lid goes on. We're going on for high. We want it done in about 4 hours, 4 to 5 hours. If you want it low, 6 to 8. Done. Right, I'm going to move this onto there. It'll be cooking on the top here for the next 4 hours while we crack on and make our soda bread. Okay, Irish soda bread couldn't be any easier. Flour, all-purpose flour, whole wheat flour. That's it. So we're going to go in there with a teaspoon of salt, and a teaspoon of sugar is optional. You can put it in if you want a little bit of sweet bread, and a teaspoon of baking soda. And it is baking soda, not baking powder, and that's why it's called soda bread. Right, the recipe calls for buttermilk. A lot of countries you can't get buttermilk. Easy to make. Whole milk, vinegar. This is apple cider vinegar. There's 1 3/4 cups of milk in there, whole milk. So we want 1 3/4 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar or any vinegar to curdle and turn that milk into buttermilk. So just give it a stir. and we leave it for 5 minutes, and that is perfect buttermilk. Now the thing is with the Irish soda bread, the baking soda reacts with the buttermilk, gives it aeration inside the bread. Now the bread is quite stodgy, we all know that. It's a fantastic bread for eating with Irish stew. Right, we just need to mix all this together in there. So we're just going to get our hands in and we're just going to give it a mix. Now you can sieve all the flour if you so wish, that's up to you. When I did a bit of time in Ireland, a young lady taught me, well not young, I mean she was 70, but the young lady taught me to crack an egg into the mixture. It's completely optional, you don't have to do it, but it gives it a richer flavour. So we're going to have that egg in there. A nice little mix in, and we're going to have our buttermilk in there too. And you can see it's all curdled, that's buttermilk. Mix it all in. Now soda bread mixed together is a sticky mix. Okay, that's our bread. Now we do not over knead it. If you over knead it, it actually goes tough. Want a tray out of the oven, and we want some parchment paper on there. Out with your bread and on your parchment paper. Now there's nothing fancy about any of this. You just want to cut some score lines in there. The traditional Irish soda bread. Now for this one I'm going to preheat this oven actually. Now I'm preheating at 180 degrees. If you're using a normal conventional oven, preheat to about 220. Okay, that's preheated enough. Take our tray in the oven. 180 for about 30 minutes. And then we're going to have a look at it. Now in a conventional oven, 220 for about 30 minutes, 35 minutes. Have a check of it. Give it a little pat underneath. If it's hollow, it's cooked. All we're going to do now is wait and see. Okay, end hot. Let's get the bread out of the oven. Oh, come on. There we have it. Oh, quite hard actually, I reckon. Listen to that. Okay, so it's scotched there. That's because of the heating element underneath. Well, that is hollow as a drum. Now with Irish soda bread, it's normally quite solid on the top, nice bready inside. You always have a hard crust, that's red hot. But what we're going to do, we're actually going to rub some butter over that, and then we're going to put some kitchen towel over the top. And what's going to happen is it's going to soften up the crust. It's a good way of doing it. You end up with a really nice, reasonably soft crust on our bread. We'll take some butter, we're going over the top of there. Optional this, you don't have to do it if you don't want. It makes a huge difference. And then we're just going to cover over our bread with that kitchen towel. So that's going to draw the heat up into the crust underneath. We've buttered over the crust. It's not going to go soft, it's still going to stay rock hard. But we're going to have a softer crust by letting it steam under there. Just leave it alone, that's our bread made. All we've got to do now is wait for the stew to cook. in about 4 hours. Oh, come on. The smell in here is unbelievable. Irish stew everywhere. Okay, let's have a look in here. That is spot on. That really is spot on. Let's turn it off. Oh, we got our soda bread under there, look. Oh, look at that. Let's take out the samurai. Let's have a couple of bits off here. I mean, come on, look at that. That is fantastic soda bread. So we've got a couple of good slices to go with our stew. Let's have that out of there. Oh, it's warm. It smells of soda bread. Look at that. Fantastic soda bread. We're going to serve it up with our Irish stew. All we're going to do now is plate it up. Come on. Come on, out with the fresh butter. Oh, look. Oh, it's still warm. It's melting into the bread. That is oh, amazing. Oh, yes, please. Fresh Irish soda bread, buttered up. Let's serve up the stew. Oh, come on. Come on, look at that. That is a feast for anyone. Irish stew soda bread. Let's get dug in and give it a try. That is fantastic. Oh, come on. Oh, look at this. Look at this lamb. Look at that. The lamb just pulls apart. That is sensational. Oh, that is amazing. Lamb, leeks, carrots. Look at this. Look at that. Oh. Oh. Carrots with a little bit of crunch to them. Potatoes, still firm. Oh. Red hot though. That is amazing. Soda bread. Absolutely love soda bread. That is amazing. All that butter. Got that lamb, that soda bread. And all you need to do is wash it down with a nice bitter. If you like what we're doing, don't forget, smash that like and subscribe. Share with your friends. All that kind of stuff. We'll catch you in the next video. Cheers.